The Sahel mattered not because it was a lush core by itself. It mattered because it lay along the meeting line of desert and savanna. Across this long edge belt, movement, trade, settlement, and power were shaped by an ecological frontier. This was not one uniform belt. The Sahel included river-fed zones, floodplain pockets, dry grasslands, caravan approaches, and market corridors. Different sections of the edge gave the region different historical roles. So, the Sahel was more than a strip below the desert. It was a continental hinge between North Africa and the Sudanic interior. It shaped caravan access, food supply, political concentration, and long-distance exchange. One built-in feature was the ecological boundary itself. The Sahel sat between the hard limits of the Sahara and the wetter savanna world to the south. That made it a transition belt where exchange was possible, but conditions stayed selective and fragile. Another built-in feature was concentrated water. In a dry-edge world, rivers, seasonal flood zones, and inland wetlands became anchors of life and power. They supported farming, transport, and dense settlement where the wider belt could not. A further built-in feature was route filtering. The Sahara did not allow easy movement everywhere. Caravans had to follow workable corridors through wells, oases, and known stopping lines. That gave Sahel entry points unusual strategic value. The Sahel also favored selected market nodes. Places where caravan traffic, river movement, farming zones, and pastoral worlds met could grow far beyond their immediate surroundings. Power clustered at junctions, not evenly across the belt. The belt also linked very different economic worlds. Salt, livestock, grain, gold routes, and crafted goods moved across ecological boundaries. So, the Sahel did not just separate regions. It connected different production zones into wider political and trading systems. These edge zone roles appeared clearly in major Sahel regions. Timbuktu rose near the desert riverage. Jen occupied a floodplain market world in the inland delta. Kano flourished in the eastern Sahel as a commercial node between savanna production and northern caravan exchange. Agadas grew where trans-Saharan caravan routes converge near the Air Massif. Some decisive places rise where harsh ecological worlds meet. Timbuktu grew near the edge where Sahara routes approached the Niger world. This was not a deep desert oasis far from everything. Timbuktu stood near the meeting zone between trans-Saharan movement and the Niger-connected Sahel. Its importance came from filtered access. Long-distance movement across the Sahara did not arrive everywhere equally, and Timbuktu benefited where caravan routes met a major Sudanic exchange zone. Timbuktu's role was a desert-edge exchange city in the Sahel world. It gained importance where Saharan caravan movement met the wider Niger-connected economy, making it a commercial hinge between ecological zones. Some decisive places rise where seasonal water concentrates life in a dry world. Jen grew in the inland Niger Delta, where floodplain geography turned a Sahel edge landscape into a rich market zone. This was not a city in an empty dry plain. Jen stood inside a broader inland delta world where seasonal flooding supported farming, fishing, transport, and dense local exchange. Its importance came from concentrated abundance. In a dry-edge region, the inland delta created one of the best environments for settlement and exchange, allowing Gen to become a durable market center. Gen's role was a floodplain market city in the Sahel world. It benefited from the seasonal wealth of the inland Niger Delta, making it a strong center of food production, exchange, and regional linkage. Some decisive places rise where trade routes meet productive edge zones. Kano grew in Hausaland, where Sahel exchange linked with stronger agrarian and craft support from the south. This was not a riverport city like some western Sahel centers. Kano stood in an inland transition zone where caravan access from the north met local farming, population support, and strong craft production. Its importance came from combined support. Kano was not just a stop on desert trade. It became powerful because long-distance exchange connected with a productive local base, allowing commerce, craft output, and urban growth to reinforce one another. Kano's role was an eastern Sahel trade production city. It benefited from overland access to Saharan commerce, but also from the dense economic support of Hausaland, making it one of the strongest urban and commercial centers of the Sahel belt. Some decisive places rise where desert routes meet survivable edges. Agadas grew on the southern edge of the central Sahara, where caravan movement connected with oasis and mountain support from the air region. This was not a city backed by broad farmland. Agadas stood in a hard desert corridor, but close enough to oasis and upland support to become a major stop, exchange point, and political center for Saharan traffic. Its importance came from position more than local abundance. Agadas mattered because Saharan routes could be supplied, organized, and controlled here, giving the city influence beyond its immediate environment. Agadez's role was a central Saharan caravan city. It linked the desert world with the Sahel using route control, oasis support, and its position near the Air Massif to become a key exchange and political center. The Sahel shaped history not by forming a single dense core, but by organizing life and power along an ecological edge. It concentrated water in selected pockets, guided caravan movement through narrow corridors, rewarded junction cities, and linked desert, river, and savanna worlds. More than a dry frontier, the Sahel helped structure trade, states, and empires across West Africa.